Hey, family. I pray all is well with many of you. I want to speak about a topic that's very dear to me. It pretty much speaks volume when it comes to my life as far as being solo, um, being in isolation. Not like severe isolation to where, I'm living by myself and, I'm like just, you know, um, I don't get out as much. Pretty much isolation to where the things I used to do, like when it comes to a job, okay, working. Some work 9 to 5, some do the 7 to 3:30, some do six to 2:30, 1 to 5. Well, well, let me say this: 5 to 1 or 1:30, whatever the case may be. Um, Isolation to the point where you stop working, okay, and for whatever reason. Okay, it can be for health reasons. You have a baby and you just stop working, and during that time, um, you just stop doing the things that you used to do. When it comes to like going out, being social, um, hanging around friends, social gatherings, family, you name it. Um, it's enough that you stop the rotation of actually working. That's isolation in itself, due to all that time that you could be working, you actually, you're home. Okay, um, you spend a lot of time to yourself. Now, me, I wasn't by myself within the household. I had my children. One of them does work. He would come and go. Um, but I had my daughter there and my mom. But still in my room, I would notice I would spend a lot of time in my room. And during that time when I wasn't working, it's like all of a sudden I had like a dark night of soul. It seemed like when you having these experiences, right? To many people, they will look at it as though God is, punishing them. Why me? Because you can, go into a depressed state, okay, when you feel like things are not going your way, or when you feel like, why God, why am I going through this? Whatever that means to you. For me, I just knew that things were shifting in my life. Okay, but to me during that time it was like a negative shift to me, because it wasn't the norm, shall I say, for me. I'm used to being more social. I'm used to, being in relationships, shall I say. Um, but like I said, I went through this phase of a dark night of the soul. And they always say when you go into the darkness, what happens? You bring your own light out. So while you're in that dark phase, you're pretty much doing a lot of, healing. Okay, I didn't see it at the time, but that's pretty much what I was doing during that phase. Because I had a lot of time on my hand. Let me just say that. And instead of me being active and all of that, I pretty much was to myself, and I didn't really know why I was like the way I did. I really didn't know why I was the way why I was the way that I was. But I look back on it, it was all for my good. Okay, I look back on it, it was not a curse at all. It actually was a blessing. The Most High God would take His children, and take them out of one situation, especially when He has purpose for your life. And I truly believe like everyone does have purpose. Many people just choose to ignore it and due to free will, um, not see it for what it is. Let me just say that. But me, I started to really see it for what it was. I said, you know what? Let me just, you know, ride this wave, okay? Let me just ride this wave and see where it's going to take me. 'Cause I see right now the Most High God took me from this rotation programming of working at a job that I felt totally burnt out. Let me just say that. But I got caught up in the title. And many people do. You get caught up in the title. And when the Most High God took me from that job, and I had my child, and I had all this time on me being at home, like I said, I started having like a dark night of the soul for me. And I started going through this purging because I needed to heal. It's like going on with me. And for me to be where I am now, I had to go through what I went through. Okay, so I did a lot of purging and all of that, and it also seemed like God took me not only out of that situation as far as working, being programmed, get up, eat, sleep, wake back up, work, eat, sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like the constant rotation we all are used to. But not only did he take me out of that, it also seemed like he took me from one reality to another, okay? And so really I'm going spiritual when I speak about that type of reality. Life as I know it has forever changed for me. But that's my testimony. I'm not the same person that I was, 12 and 13 years ago. Let me just say that. Back then I was more of a caterpillar, okay? Now I'm a butterfly, okay? I don't even think and move as a caterpillar anymore. But anyway, I'm grateful for the lesson, okay? I am grateful for the lesson. And I'm still learning. Let me just say that. And I'm still growing. But I just noticed a beautiful change in me. And I love it, okay? Anyway, but when God is trying to, and the only reason I'm bringing all this up, I'm just trying to get many of you an idea, why things happen the way they do. When you find yourself from one, place in your life to where you're social and you're more extroverted, and then you find yourself, being snatched from that for whatever reason. It can be a health crisis for whatever reason, but you're snatched. It's like God takes you out of that, place that you were in, and he have you where you're isolated for whatever reason. You're just isolated, okay? Yeah, you're at home, people still around you, but you're just more reserved and you're isolated. You're not doing the things that you used to do. As far as being more social. Now you're more reserved. You're introverted. You're more isolated, and you're in your room a lot. You're doing a lot of reflecting. And also during this time, you also could be depressed, but it's what comes out of all of this. For some people, they don't see it for what it is, and they go into a real dark place. I'm not speaking about those people, okay? But for those who do see it for what it is, it's the purging that we all must go through, okay? During this time, because he's doing something new in us, and also he has purpose for us. So he takes us out of one situation and put us in another, more to where we're more isolated, to where we do a whole lot of reflecting on our lives, getting still so we can hear his voice, okay? So we can actually hear some direction, from source, to where we normally wouldn't be able. We wouldn't be able to hear it because we're too distracted, on cares of this world, been caught up in the latest trends and, you name it. Whatever people are into, you just so caught up in that to where you're not, focused on yourself. And during this time alone in isolation, you really it's just you, That's a time when you can just really, just be with you and get to know you better, find out what it is that you really, really want. And also during this time, God is doing a marvelous work in you also. He's allowing you to purge, which you need to do. And also, this alone can help you, release those baggage, mental baggage. Forgiveness is definitely a good example. You get to the place of forgiveness. Um, that's definitely a baggage that holds a lot of us, prisoners, shall I say, and it's hard for us to manifest anything when we're holding that kind of grudge when it comes to, not releasing. But, for me, it was a lot of releasing, okay? For me, it was a lot of releasing during those times when I was in isolation. But to me, like I said, for me, in a way, it felt like, oh, God, you know, punishing me. Why am I going through this? Well, I'm going through it for a reason. And like I said at the time, you don't know why you're going through what you're going through, but it's for a reason. In order for there to be a diamond, these beautiful diamonds that we all love that sparkles, these diamonds has been through some pressure, okay? They have been through some pressure. They have been through the fire, you name it, but they came out as a beautiful sparkling diamond. And, for many of us, it's going to take that also, because most like God has purpose for all of us. And when you start seeing your isolation for what it really is a blessing, but you have to go through it, okay? You have to go through it, and whatever that means for you is what it means for you. You're going to have to go through it. It's a process, but on the other side, wow, you look back on it, you like, woo, but God, you just look back over your life and, just reflect on, how good he's been, and, how you were never alone. Even though you felt alone, you were never alone. Many of you, your gift's going to come out of it, okay? During that time when we was all distracted, working, he was probably trying to, give you an idea of what your purpose was then, but you were just too distracted. The mind was full of clutter, worrying about tomorrow and next week, and, your whatever it is that you had going on, drama in your life, worrying about some person, some partner in your life or some spouse. Now, he isolates you, it's just you, okay? It's just you, and that's a time of reflection. And also, you're doing a lot of healing, okay? A lot of releasing and hearing. Also, a lot of, meditation, receiving downloads. Like I said, it's more to it. But I know for me, my purpose came out of it. I found out what my purpose was. And I look back on it. I would have never have dreamed, I would be doing the things that I'm doing now, and the kind of work that I do, let me just say that behind the scenes, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Let me just say that, because your gift is anything that comes natural to you. When you don't need 9-to-5 jobs, whatever job it may be, many of you have to go to school for it. You have to go to school to learn, that particular, job that you're doing. Even when you start any job, they still have to train you. But when he give you a gift, there is no training. I mean, it just comes to you naturally, and it's a gift from God. It's a gift that keeps on giving, even, it comes to your purpose, it doesn't feel like a job. It's your passion, it's whatever that you enjoy doing, and it doesn't feel like work. So I say all of this, if many of you find yourself, feeling isolated, a lot of people who consider themselves like chosen start to feel like they start feeling isolated. Well, you know what? That's your time. Most like God's going to do something new in you and with you, okay? He has a purpose for you, and for some reason, he was like dangling a sign, back then, but you was not, heeding it because you were so distracted. Well, guess what? He got your attention, okay? And if you're watching this video, he got your attention. That's why you were isolated. So don't see it as a curse, because, back then, I just saw for what it was. I was like, dang, I don't even go out no more, I ain't seen a lot of my family members in a long time. I talked to them on the phone, and back then when I used to do Facebook, I communicated with them on Facebook. But I'm like, wow, I'm very isolated now. What's up with this? But by and by, things start to be revealed to me, and I understand it now. It's sort of like a separation. I hate to say it, and when you find yourself isolated and you start looking outside yourself, observing other people that are more social, you can just see the difference in the mindset of people, how they move, how they think, compared to those that have been more isolated, and you hear the way they talk, you understand it by and by, and you can relate to those that too have been, in isolation. And for the most part, it's not like by choice. Things happen in life to where, it just puts you in a position to where you're isolated. Now some people choose to be isolated. It's like I said, it can be a choice, but many of us, we just found ourselves, you know, just being snatched, from that path that we were once on, as far as being real social and extroverted, to where we're more introverted, and we're happy. We're okay. We're okay being introverted. We're okay being, isolated, as far as going back home and spending time with ourselves. Actually, I enjoy myself, okay? In the past, I don't think that I would be able to talk like that, but now I enjoy my alone time. I really do. I enjoy doing things that I love to do. It inspires me, makes me happy. I feel creative. When I find myself feeling some type of way, you know what I do? I start doing the things that I love to do during my alone time. And it makes me happy. It's fulfilling. It's very fulfilling, But many people can't get to that place because they're so distracted. And as soon as something happens, like a breakup, or, they may get depressed about a situation, things not going the way they want it, the way they want them to, get back to the things you love to do. It will get your mind off of it. Yes, it is distraction, but it's good distraction because you focus on your passion. Get back to the things you love to do. It will get your mind off of those things that really don't really serve you no good anyway. You just want what you want. But it doesn't mean what you want is what you need. Get back to what you love to do, okay? Spend some alone time with yourself and still the mind also, and get quiet so you can hear from God, all right? You may not hear a voice, but you may just get an epiphany or get an idea, okay? That's God talking to you. He moves in mysterious ways. You might even see a feather on the ground. I guess so now I'm more in tune with nature now. It used to be a time I wasn't really, heeding the sound of nature. I would hear it, but not really hear it. Now, I hear nature totally different now. It's like nature be talking to me, I would just hear the certain sound when it comes to birds. It's like I know when they're saying yes, and I know when they're saying no, and you only know that for yourself unless you try it, okay? You got to try it. But when we're not so distracted, when we finally become isolated and we get in tune with self, family, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. Notice there's so many things out here. The powers that be have so many things out here that's really distracting us. And when we are distracted, our mind is cluttered. It's a lot of chit-chatter. And when your mind is doing a whole lot of chit-chatter, it's hard for you to meditate. A lot of people be telling me, it's hard for me to meditate, because you have to learn to master yourself. You have to learn to get still, quiet, and also it's a process. You have to master yourself by quieting the mind. And when you're able to do that, man, that's a game changer also, okay? And what it's going to mean for you is what it's going to mean for you, because everybody's situation is different, okay? Close your eyes, go into the darkness. That's right, close your eyes, go into the darkness, meditate. And what you see is meant for you to see. Let me just say that, whether it be colors, images, whatever the case may be, light, it's meant for you. Don't worry about, what does this mean? What does this mean? You pray about it, what it means, and you will get those answers. Okay? You will get those answers. But one must be still. One must be quiet. And you can't be quiet and still when you are distracted and, you're social, a whole lot of chit chatter, talking, you got a lot of people up in your face, you're around a whole lot of people. When your mind is constant rotation of, many of you can't help it. We have to work in order to, we have to work in order to pay our bills. Let me just say that, okay? I gets it. But many of you gets it more. For those who know what I mean, if you've been able to take a break from working and get to that place of really just isolating yourself, okay? Not to the place of extreme, okay? I'm not talking about extreme. isolation, but isolation to where you're more introverted, okay? And you are allowing God, you're letting go and you're allowing God to work through you, okay? So you can heal. You're doing a lot of purging, releasing, reflecting, and you're pretty much getting back to you. You're getting back to you from the perspective of self-love, you know, learning to enjoy your own company, because you're not alone. God is within you. You're not alone, okay? And also, you having that relationship with God. You know, you have all this time in your hand. Spend time with God. Go through yourself. I don't like to put a time limit on it, but yeah, I say at least 20 minutes or more, and meditate. Make an effort. You know, twice a day, meditate. Okay, make an effort. A lot of people don't even want to put that in. Like I said, it's a matter of choice. Many are called, few are chosen. But all I want to say is, you know, it's truly, you know, a blessing. It's not a curse when God remove you and put you in isolation. Okay, for the most part, it's to protect you. Okay, it is protect you, and also He has purpose for your life. But I know for many of you, everybody's situation is different. Many of you are going to see it as a curse. Many of you, you know, might take it and really go to a really dark, dark, dark place. But it is for you. It is for you to see it for what it is and come out of that dark, dark place, okay? And bring your light out, okay? Expand your light within, okay? As the words say, you know, our lamp guide our path, okay? But during that time of isolation, you find out whose you are, and you can see the bigger picture. Why the Most High God, you know, removed you, you know, from a place of, you know, being extroverted. As far as being introverted, you're more isolated. You know, you'll see the bigger picture, okay? And you will no longer see it as a curse or anything like that. You know, you'll see it for what it is, okay? He loves you. He has plans for you. And that's the only way He could really get your attention, okay? Snatch you from that situation and bring you over here to where you can really hear Him, okay? Because you're not going to have no choice but to hear God's voice, okay? It might even be your voice, but God is within you. You're going to start hearing that voice, and then within that a long time, you know, what is it going to mean for you? You know, you're going to definitely go through some changes, and it's not just mental, because it's going to be spiritual as well, okay? But what that's going to mean for you, it is meant for you. Can nobody take that from you? There is no debate. Please know that. So anyway, that's all I want to say. Isolation is a good thing. No, it's just not severe. Like I said, some people take things, and to me, it's very, very severe. But I'm in a, what I call it, a non-judging zone. You know, everybody do them. You know, it is good to, because we all need each other, okay? It is good to talk to people and to engage with people. That is healthy. It really is. What I'm saying is, but while you're in the isolation, you know, see for what it is, okay? The Most High God know what He's doing, and you're in the isolation for a reason, okay? Some people find themselves in that place when they have been through a bad breakup. You know, people going in hermit mode. They so distraught, heartbroken, and they don't want to be bothered, so they go in isolation. Yeah, some people find themselves in isolation, you know, and something like that drastically happens. And then some people go into a situation when a loved one dies, you know. Some people when they lose their job. But many people, you know, have actually lost their job. They went into isolation mode, and something beautiful came out of it. They learned craft, you know, and they mastered that craft, and now, you know, they're starting their own business. So, like I said, it's what it means for you. But at the end of the day, something good is going to come out of it. That's the point I'm trying to make. You're not going to be able to see it at that time, but something good is going to come out of it. Okay? So, when the Most High God, you know, put you in isolation, it is not a curse. That's all I want you to know. It's not a curse. Actually, it's a blessing. Okay? You were chosen, and He wanted to get your attention. And, yeah, you're watching me, so He got your attention. That's why you find yourself in isolation, and you just, for whatever reason, people that normally come around you stop coming around you for whatever reason. Don't look at it as though, oh, something wrong with me. Oh, I feel like what you call it? What do you call it? It's a word I'm looking for, but a black sheep of the family. Oh, I'm black sheep of the family. Look, you are who you are. Okay, and how the Most High God sees you, and how He sees you as something totally, awesome. But it is for you to see it. Okay, it is for you to see it. So that's all I want to say, family. All right. Yeah, it's a blessing. It's not a curse. And for those of you who have not experienced it, if you happen to get to that place of isolation, see it for what it is, okay? The Most High God trying to get your attention. Peace. But use that time wisely. Use that time wisely and see it for what it is. Peace.